Hi, this is Frode, and today we will explore 3 key ideas from The Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs by Carmine Gallo. The Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs. Subtitle: How to be insanely great in front of any audience. Carmine Gallo is a communications coach for the world's top global brands, and he writes the My Communications Coach column for Forbes.com. And he is also a best-selling author. And in this book, he shows us how we can inspire, captivate, and influence any audience with our presentations. And I'm really grateful to Carmine for writing this book, because he has given me a great checklist that I can use to optimize these videos as I'm preparing them and practicing them to deliver them to you, like in these videos right here. And the top reason that I believe it's really important to develop your presentation skills is that you can have the most amazing, life-changing, and transformative idea that's out there, whatever you do. And if you're not able to communicate it properly and inspire people and convince them to come on board with you with that idea, then it doesn't really matter. And it's really important to develop presentation skills if you're a student who's going to have verbal exams, or if you're an entrepreneur who needs to pitch ideas to investors, or you're just a parent who wants to inspire great values like learning and hard work in your children, in addition to exemplifying those values, of course. But really, I find these skills that we learn in this book essential for any kind of relationship, or any kind of convincing that we do to get people to do activities with us and come on board with our ideas. So anyway, I want to talk about 3 things in this video. First one is why I need to answer the one question that matters most. Secondly, we'll see the importance of introducing a problem and a solution to each presentation. And finally, how you can make your information come alive through telling stories. So, first, answer the one question that matters most. Imagine for a second that I come up to you right now, standing next beside you, and tell you, hey, come on, let's go to Mount Everest. I give you the tickets so you can take the plane ride to the Himalayas. I give you the tickets to the expedition, so it's totally free. I give you some good clothing so you can keep yourself warm at those heights. And finally, I give you a few Sherpas who can guide you to the top and carry your provisions. But do you see one thing that is lacking here, as I'm asking you to come walk to the top of Mount Everest with me? What question am I not answering that you might have? And it's pretty obvious when you hear it. It's, why should I care? Why should you care to go to the Himalayas with me right now? And if you don't have that question answered, you don't have any reasons, any motivations to act and to go to the Himalayas. But then I can start outlining the benefits for you. First of all, answering your question, why should I care, might include the beauty that you'll see as you are on the top of the world. You can see out to the edges of the terrain further than you can see in any other place. You may achieve a sense of mastery and confidence that will just ripple throughout each area of your life, so you will achieve more success in those areas. And finally, you will cherish memories for the rest of your life from this trip. Doesn't it sound a bit more enticing to join me on this trip now than when I just came and told you what to do and how to do it? So, if you're getting convinced that you need to answer the one question that matters most to actually motivate your listener to come on board with your ideas, then this is what you need to do. In your presentation, just imagine that you are your listener, whoever that is, and then ask yourself the question, Why should I care? Then, of course, you start outlining reasons for why the listener should care about your idea, your product, or your service, or whatever. So that's the first idea, answering the one question that matters most. The second big idea is introducing a villain and a conquering hero. In other words, a problem and a solution. The problem with a lot of presentations, especially for entrepreneurs, is often that they come with these insanely great and ambitious ideas, these solutions for what we can do, and that they are really fired up about. But the investors might be really bored because they are not really given a problem that is being solved. They're not seeing, how does this idea of yours, this business idea, help us out of some misery that we're having right now? Why do we need this? So, to give you an example of the problem, using problem and solution to motivate people, to give them reasons to act, like we spoke about in our last idea, then we can look at movies like Lord of the Rings. You might have seen it, or seen all the 3 movies, also The Hobbit, but in Lord of the Rings, you have a really clear problem, which is Sauron. He is threatening to enslave and slay all of humanity. That's really a big problem right there. Then you have a solution, which is Frodo. He is the conquering hero. An unlikely one, as the small hobbit he is, but he is the hero. And he is going to free humanity from that enslavement, from the darkness of Mordor and Sauron. And then he has a really clear action he needs to take in order to bring that solution to life. He needs to bring the ring into the fires of Mordor, if I'm remembering correctly, into the volcano, the only place that the ring can be destroyed, where it was forged in the beginning. So that's an example of having a problem and a solution in your presentations, just as in movies. So the way to really do this, if you want to apply it to your next presentation, is there are 3 key words. First, problem. You ask yourself, why do we need this? How is the problem making our lives miserable? Secondly, solution. What can we do to overcome this problem? And how will that make our lives better? And thirdly, action. What is the specific action that we need to take to make this solution come to life so we can be free from our misery? So, problem leads to pain, solution leads to happiness or freedom from the pain, and action helps us bring the solution to life. So that's something you can apply in your own next presentation. And all of these 3 key ideas really go together, which we will go into now. In the third idea, how to bring your information to life through stories. There is a really big problem that I've noticed by looking back at the years of the presentations I made, especially in school and for business presentations, the pitching business ideas. That's that there are a lot of facts and numbers, statistics that I need to share that are really boring in themselves. So what we really need to do here is to bring stories into the pictures to make that information come alive, how that is relevant to our lives. And we looked at this in our second big idea of really telling stories. I could have just told you that in your presentations you need to add a problem and a solution and an action. But instead I walked you through the story of Lord of the Rings, of how we need to overcome the problem, which is Sauron, the villain. Frodo is the conquering hero who is the solution. And the action is bring the ring to the volcano and destroy it. So that's something that really can weave into our stories to make them most powerful. So to make it really practical for you right here, how can you use stories in your presentations? You could just tell a story and make a point, which is often recommended. But if you want to really empower your stories even more, you add a problem into the story, a solution, and a specific action that you want your listeners to take. So you kind of weave those three components into your story. Meaning that our key idea: one, give why should I care? Two, add a problem and solution. And three, stories really go into one. In your stories, you give people reasons for why they should care. You give them a problem, a solution, and a clear action that they need to take. So for our idea here, the problem is that, for our entire video here, the problem is that you might have great ideas that won't impact the world because you don't know how to communicate them and convince others of them. And the solution is add some simple components like reasons why we should care, problems, solutions, and stories into each of your presentations. Because these are really the most important components I found in this book and also in the book Talk Like TED, which Carmine also wrote, our presentations, which I'll share very soon. But that's the three key ideas for today. Answer the one question that matters most. Add a villain / problem and a conquering hero / solution. And make your information come alive through stories. Now, I wonder, what is the one idea that most resonated with you? The one that most fired you up? And what's the one specific action that you're going to take right now? Or the one good insight that you had as a result of watching this video? Please leave it in the comments because I really love reading your comments and following up with you there. Also, please like this video if you did. Share it with your friends so you can spread the positive ripples so we can change the world together. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Because I really release videos on a vast array of topics within self-help literature and consciousness work. In other words, enlightenment. Because those are really the two main fields that I see as most important for realizing our ultimate potential. So you not only learn how to present better, which I am also learning in the process, but you also learn about how you can master new skills more effectively, how you can improve your relationships, how you can gain a greater sense of purpose in your life, and ultimately to realize your ultimate potential. So I hope you'll stay with me. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I wish you an awesome day.